Steve, a team like Cale Yarborough's with the Hardy sponsorship, they got the money that they need to be able to buy the best equipment and to be able to run up front in every race.
For the independent drivers, though, like Jimmy Means, Ronnie Thomas, Bobby Wawak, J.D. McDuffie, it's not the case. Many times, Ned, they're racing with used equipment, tires, engine pieces, anything they can get their hands on, and it means that they simply cannot run up front.
Makes it awfully tough on them, but Jimmy Means got a once-in-a-lifetime break at Charlotte.
For nearly all of his 11-year Winston Cup career, Jimmy Means has labored in near obscurity. Though popular and respected by his peers, Means owns, maintains, and drives one of those unsponsored, underpowered cars men like Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott pass on their way to fame and fortune. A top 5 finish for men like Means is unheard of. A top 10, few and very far between. Knowing that victory, let alone a good finish, was a vanishing dream, was beginning to take its toll.
I don't want to run the next 10 years as a driver like I have the first 10 years. If we can't be competitive, then I'm not satisfied just being in a race. So if we can't get a sponsor so we can get a little bit better, cars and equipment and be competitive, then I'm not interested in being a driver.
But the new Folgers uniform hanging from Means' slender frame was not a loaner from Tim Richmond or Benny Parsons. Embroidered over the pocket was the same name stenciled on the roof of a Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet, Jimmy Smut Means. Car owners Rick and Joe Hendrick waved their golden magic wands and in the most popular gesture of the season granted Means the wish of his NASCAR career, the chance to prove how good he could be with frontline equipment. The Folgers car even sported the number 52, so Means could earn car owner points worth money in 1988. But accompanying this Cinderella ride was an ever-present and unwelcome companion. From your perspective, what sort of pressure do you think he's under?
Well, I think it's a tremendous amount of pressure. I really do, because he only has one race to prove to you and to those people there that he is a race car driver, as good as Darrell Waltrip, as Terry Labonte, Rusty Wallace, as good as anyone out there. And just having one race to prove it is a tough spot.
I think he's capable of doing a great job, and I think that it's a tremendous opportunity for him, but I know he's been barraged with questions in the press, and I know everybody wants to hear his story and to congratulate him and all, but that is the tough part about it. I'll have to be honest with you.
In fact, Means received more media attention in 4 days than over his lean 11-year struggle, and made the most of it.
Well, it's a different kind of pressure. When I'm in my own team, in my own car, I'm worried about making the show. Are we going to run quick enough? There's always a lot of cars here to try to qualify. And now I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about how far up we can qualify. I like to have a decent run, so that's the pressure I'm under now. And that's a little easier to handle than where I'm going to make the race or not.
The Huntsville, Alabama native spurred his Harry Hyde prepared mount to the 5th fastest qualifying speed, by far his best ever. That allowed him the rare luxury of not worrying about being bumped from the field. Hyde's worries centered on giving Means a reliable ride, so that meant being a bit conservative with race motor and strategy.
So when you look at Jimmy Means in this car, you got to realize that he's on the conservative side. He's not letting a Jimmy Means go that probably is there, because this is a one-shot deal, and he has to make it work in order to raise any eyebrows or to prove that Jimmy Means is a good driver. And I think a finish in the top 20 would be real good, and the top 10 would absolutely be super.
Conservative or not on the setup, Means was already faster than ever before at Charlotte.
We're running probably right now 5 miles an hour faster than I've ever run in my car. But the speed doesn't, it doesn't seem like it run that much faster. The car just runs that quick with ease, and I'm just enjoying it, and the car's real comfortable, and I'm not having to work.
But most important was just having the opportunity and what it could mean down the road.
Well, naturally, people are going to be looking and see what I can do in the car, and I really hadn't thought about if I do a good job, or maybe I'm going to get offered a ride or something like that. But definitely, you get your name mentioned, and that might help down the road for us coming with a sponsor for my own team.
All the ingredients were present for a fairy tale finish to this story, as heartwarming as Tim Richmond's victorious return at Pocono. It was a car from the same stable, the glass slipper merely sporting a different number and driver. Once the green fell, Means carefully worked traffic, getting familiar with his new, faster surroundings. No reason to get overeager with more than 300 laps facing him. But on lap 20, the clock struck midnight on Means' Cinderella coach. The 8-car meat grinder shattered Means' dream as completely as his car. The one-shot ride had misfired through no fault of his own. 2 weeks later at Rockingham, Means' own red and black number 52 Pontiac was back in the garage, a small sponsorship as before, keeping Means going. It was also back to a diet of used parts and peanut butter sandwiches.
Well, you know, it's a big letdown. I was just totally dejected. It's, you know, like I said, all the publicity and all the hype, you know, had it to be over in 10 minutes. We hadn't even made a pit stop yet, so that's about as low as I've been in a long time.
Now what?
Well, you know, I was running my own equipment before that chance, and I'll continue to run my own car. That one race is not going to make me or break me. I met a lot of important people, a lot of nice people, and I feel like I've made some friends. So I probably didn't make a few, you know, I probably made a few enemies along the way too. But it was a good experience for me. I enjoyed it, and just, you know, those are good people, and maybe something will come out of it. I don't know.
Ned, I had the unpleasant assignment, really, of interviewing Jimmy just minutes after his accident, and you could see the disappointment written all over his face.
Well, it was not a fair situation to him. I mean, he was a victim of circumstances there, and a one-race shot doesn't really prove what the guy can do, and I think that he has a lot of talent that he was not able to display there. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the NASCAR Notebook and the news.